Dali revered the masters. He is wonderful. He is the greatest master of all time. He said that he's a mediocre painter. He didn't think he was a good painter at all. He said, the day I paint a picture like Raphael or Vermeer, then I die the next week. People say, was Dali crazy? And he says in his only words, the only difference between one crazy man and Dali is Dali was not crazy at all. In London, you know how it's the 200th year of Christ's birthday. Well, the premier exhibit is his masterpiece, St. John, is on exhibit right now. Of all the artists, and they have, Raphael, everyone, all celebrating Christ. They actually had Dali in the centerpiece. So Dali was not only surreal and crazy, he painted like a master. His technique was everything. First he wanted to be an impressionist. He went into every mode, Cubism, before he even really knew too much about it. And then in the 20s, that's when all of a sudden he turned to surrealism. And then he stayed into surrealism, and then he started drawing portraits, and then he went into a religious time in his life. And then when the nuclear bomb dropped, he was so appalled by that, he went into nuclear, physics paintings of atoms. And then after that, he retired and he still kept painting. He was obsessed with death, and the reason why he was named after his dead brother, you see. And he always had that image that haunted him all his life. I personally can't choose a favorite. Sigmund Freud, he admired and loved so much. He sent his famous painting, he could only show one, and it was this one on my back. It's the one he showed Sigmund Freud, and it was the one he was most personally proud of for technique. To the public at large, it's the persistence of memory, sometimes called the soft watches, and that changed hands probably 20 times before it was finally bought. Sometimes in this crazy world of ours, okay, I've learned something. You learn things with age, okay? And that is that you can just go through the rest of your life, just be normal and crazy and normal, or sometimes you can have something happen to you. Maybe it's a traumatism, like perhaps happened to me. And if a person has a traumatism, well, one of the best ways they even say, is to create, to paint your way through it. And I started drawing about 3 years ago too. And anyway, I was introduced to Dali actually by my doctors, my shrinks. No, I'm not crazy at all, I promise. But actually, I was introduced to him and what he did, and how, in a way, art saved him from his madness. He said, in that way, and how it can save anyone. Doesn't matter if you can draw, whatever you do that you love as creative, you can be so into it. And that's why I'm drawn to Dali, because I think he has more to say than just work. He has, I don't know. To me, it's a whole Galenian philosophy.